Hi, Vince. How are things going?
Things are going well. It's Tuesday. Are we live?
Yes, we're live, and I'm surprised you had time to do this because Thanksgiving is coming up. So, you pretty busy?
Yeah, pretty busy hiding from my family. We don't do much. People come to our apartment in the city for the most part, but we don't really go anywhere this holiday. I generally don't travel on this particular holiday because a lot of people do travel during this time.
Same here.
Yeah. But you said you had a big trip coming up. It sounds exciting.
Well, it's depressing because I just found out my ex-husband's mom has pancreatic cancer. So, I just feel like I should at least go visit her. So I have to go down to South Carolina to, visit her in the hospital and pick up my son. So, yeah. So in addition to that, my sister and nephews are coming. So there's a lot going on. So anyway.
What do we do for Asian Thanksgiving?
We eat American food. I mean, the crazy thing is that, see, you just always are full of stereotypes. We were born here, okay? We consider ourselves Americans. So I think the only Chinese food is going to be my sister making some sort of stir-fried noodle dish. That's it.
I knew it.
Yeah, we're not eating dogs. We're not eating Peking duck. So we have turkey, mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie. But since we have that bikini challenge, I think I'll sit there and eat a bowl of kale.
I'm taking seconds and thirds. I got nothing to worry about. Old Wendy Jill is free as a bird.
Well, I am pissed off. It's like, what's taking so long? Dave Ehrenberg thought that she'd be arrested by Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
make my dreams come true. Jeez.
Well, I can't get Sanford here naked, but that would be your second dream.
Yeah, right. Okay. You keep saying that. Okay,
today I said a prayer to have your boyfriend, Sanford, transfer to Boston and solve the John O'Keefe murder case. And it'll take him about 5 minutes if he would just transfer up there and get involved. You're so lucky, you, and even the local police there, which people make fun of like they're yokels and locals, and they did such a great job taking their time and not being biased and solving this case. What's the matter?
I'm looking for my lozenges. Oh, thank God I have another pack here. Keep talking.
The link was sent to our other friend, John Melendez. I'm not sure if he'll join in. I did send it to him from your email, so he does have your email now.
From my email. Yeah, how do you do that?
Well, I forwarded your email.
Fake it.
No, I forwarded your email to him, so he does have your email.
Do I want that? Which one? My throwaway email or the one I really use? Thanks. Why didn't you ask me?
Me so horny at yahoo.com.
Okay, well, that's my throwaway email, so thank you for using that one. Thank you.
I did say a prayer for Sanford, and also with regard to Wendy Jill, and people say that she will be arrested. I have no worries with regard to that, although I did defame with malice today one of the murderers of John O'Keefe. I said, and this is not your opinion, but I said on that show, I'm saying it with malice, that Brian Higgins murdered John O'Keefe. And to save him all the time with regard to defamation, I'm giving him the malice. I'm doing it to harm him. That's what I said. Because I'm so wholeheartedly believe in the fact that he did after everything I went through with regard to my first murder investigation.
Oh, so it's all about you and what you went through? But you've gotten so many clicks and YouTube revenue by poking fun at him. But I think you can hide behind the fact that your channel is pure comedy. It's entertainment. So
Well, I appreciate that, but not necessarily. There are laws with regard to that. You can't just say this is a joke and then say someone has a sexually transmitted disease, right? Defamation per se and things like that. You can't just hide behind parody and comedy all the time. I understand what you're saying, but I'm serious about what I'm saying with regard to that. I know you're not into the case with Karen Reed, but one day perhaps you will. Now, I did secure a huge interview for you with Emily C. from that
Thank
world.
you.
And she's more than willing to come on and talk with you.
Okay, thank you. Well, somebody did say that I would lose half the subscribers if I covered the Karen Reed case. But I kind of feel like if people have different opposing views, I totally welcome that. So if you believe that Karen Reed did cause John O'Keefe's murder, I would love to hear from you. So people who want to come on, maybe help debate with Emily towards the end of a show or something, sure, that's good because I need content. It's like nothing's happening with these Adelsons. Well, except for Harvey's big lawsuit against Charlie's friend, who is Alex Berkovich, actually former friend. So I'm assuming you didn't read anything that I sent you, right?
It's not proper to assume, but in this situation it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't send it to you until like a few hours ago. So, yeah. So this is what we sold our show as, right? Because that's all people seem to care about on this channel. So
well, that's okay. But also the best movie that we watch as Americans, as white Americans, on Christmas Eve does have a very racist Chinese part. I just remembered that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, my siblings and I laugh about it. The yeah, haha. So see, I know that. That doesn't offend me because we laugh at it too, and we watch that every year. So, are you kidding, kid? You'll shoot your eye out. So we can sing the fa song later. But anyway, so let's get back to Adelson because
but it's not fair though. You don't have to change your voices at all. Like we have to, as Americans, have.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, but so anyway, that was a pretty funny movie, especially with the dad being obsessed with that fake mannequin leg.
Yeah, of course. It is a hot lamp. Fragile must be Italian. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things with that movie. It plays 24 hours a day, but I'm glad that you can laugh at the racist parts of it. I don't think it was intended for anything that cruel.
Yeah.
I know you want to get back to this. So what's going on with the Harvey lawsuit? This
hot
is exciting.
Lawsuit. Yeah, it's so exciting. I covered it twice. Joe Patuto and I discussed it about a month ago or something. So Harvey, as POA for Charlie, has sued his former friend, Alex Berkovich, for taking over their apartment complex and basically cutting him out of management.
Wait a minute. Are you saying Jews are fighting over money?
I don't know if Berkovich is Jewish. I think he's from Russia. I don't know. So, of course, it's all about the money, right? Harvey has to gather as much money as possible because they have so many legal bills now. So, let's see. So here's the property. It's like this rundown neighborhood in Miami. It's 732 Northwest 56th Street. And what do you think of that property?
Which one is theirs?
The white one in the middle.
Well, like your dad said, never trust Whitey. And I like the property if it does have some good cash flow. And it sounded like it did. And they bought it outright without a loan, I believe. So they were, right? I don't know, actually. I'm just guessing.
I don't remember. Well, what's kind of strange is that originally Charlie had this, but then a few years later, he got his friend Alex to maybe bring in $200,000 or something to also become a 50% owner in this corporate entity. So Harvey is suing him, saying that he wants partition of the property and declaratory relief. So today's big hearing was a motion to dismiss. And I think the bailiff was surprised that I was on the Zoom But, like, who the heck is this? This is like the most boring civil matter, and it was only slated for 20 minutes, but nobody really questioned me. So I was just like up there on the Zoom and listening to these attorneys argue their case. And what was funny? Like, people were making fun of Josh Zelman for bringing up some sort of case from the 1950s or something. So in this case, Harvey's attorney, who looked pretty old, he looked like he was at least 75 to 80 something years old. This man named George McCardle. So he starts talking about a case from 1954, and the defense attorney was saying, hey, that case doesn't even apply because that was before this new Florida statute regarding LLCs had been enacted. So anyway, they're quoting case law and stuff. And another crazy thing that happened was the judge was probably working from home. So you couldn't even see her. She was just like this black screen with her name. And then she pointedly asked the older attorney something. And then he was like, huh? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? I think he really just wasn't paying attention. So he kept acting like, Judge, I can't hear anything. And everybody was like nodding and waving at the judge like, yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Yeah. So he clearly like didn't have a response to the pointed question from the judge and stuff. And so they kind of went back and forth about whether it's proper to partition real estate when it is solely owned by a corporation and that is the only asset of the corporation.
So when you say partition, what does that exactly mean?
That they want to force a judicial sale.
Okay.
Because apparently there had been a tiny bit of settlement discussions. Sorry for my voice as usual. But I think Harvey or Alex had offered the Adelsons some sort of payment to just buy them out and say, we're done. But Harvey and Charlie didn't agree with it. So,
of course.
Yeah. So the defense attorney was saying that you can't just kind of like get around the Florida dissolution statutes because first you're supposed to pay off the creditors. So it doesn't make sense to, in this type of situation, just go ahead and force the judicial sale of this property. Plus, they didn't include the corporate entity, which is a necessary party to this type of case.
You would think.
Yeah. So
for those who
anyway,
don't really know, if the property is owned by a limited liability company, an LLC, it's not technically owned by any individual. The LLC is a separate entity. Think of it as a separate person. And the LLC has managers, managing partners of it, and general partners as well. And obviously, if you want to sell something, it's not as easy as just saying, I want to sell it. You have to go through whatever the agreement was when you actually purchased it and the LLC's actual terms. So it's not as easy as just selling a home and divorce. So that's the property right there?
Yeah, that's the side of it where you can see. It's like an old building, but looks like they have done some sort of renovations inside.
Yeah, that's an old motel.
16. Yeah, that's what people said. It looks just like an old motel that's been converted because the apartments are so small.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had luxury vacations where you would purchase property on your vacations. We had to stay at places like this, Miss Judy. That gives me nightmares. I'm the only snobby part about me is hotels because we had to stay at this place called Kissimmee. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yes. I've been there.
And then one day, I'll never forget this. I was on the monorail. And I looked down, and there were kids not only eating with Mickey, but I saw rooms there as well. Now, we had to travel like 30 minutes and from a Roach Motel to get to Disney World. And I was traumatized that we were staying way out there, and there were kids staying at the Contemporary Hotel. And to that day, I've always stayed at nicer hotels. I just get really bothered by that.
What you're talking about, your impoverished childhood?
Yeah, that was it. I mean, on our semi-annual vacation to Florida, we'd stay at really crappy hotels. And like I said, every year when we went skiing, we would stay at pretty shitty hotels too. And we went to a state-run facility called Bel Air Mountain in upstate New York. So it was a rough life. And like I said, the maid only came 2 times a week at our place.
Yeah, but you still went skiing. Isn't that kind of an expensive hobby or vacation for a family? Okay, you and your oppression. Yeah. So they're going back and forth, and the judge is asking good questions. And I was like, what the heck is this? Because I have real work to do. But finally, she just said she was going to take it under advisement, which means she needs time to review the case law that they cited. And then the attorneys are supposed to upload competing orders at the same time sometime next week. So once again, this is typical where a judge expects the different attorneys to prepare the judgment because they don't want to have to deal with it. So it's good to just tell them, you guys type it up and I'll choose which one to go with.
Yeah. So what that means is both parties are supposed to submit her final ruling to her as if they were going to win, and then she'll just alter that a little bit. It's smart by the judge. Let those stupid attorneys do the work. I wouldn't do any of the work if I was a judge either.
Yeah. I don't think well, she does have a judicial assistant, but I don't know if it's like a law clerk with legal training. So
speaking of Zoom hearings, Karen Reed's civil trial had one, and they have like 12 different attorneys there. And I always look at the backgrounds of everyone's offices, and some of the attorneys have no clue about how to broadcast at all. And the coolest thing was anyone can just join the Zoom call. So people are joining, and you're seeing them like lounging. Some people are driving. Some people are in bed.
Yeah.
And I guess someone's sitting there just kicking them out. But the fun part of the hearing was watching everyone come in and then get kicked out.
Oh,
not because they were not trying to do anything cool. Like no one came in naked, which would have been funny, or come in as something weird, like something cool. But it was fun to see that. Did they say that the Tai Chi class is in the next Zoom to you?
No, the bailiff was very friendly. He sort of reminded me of Shadrick, though, because like this was so bizarre. Like I show up and he's like, oh, JT Esquire from North Carolina. And I looked on the screen and he's like not even dressed up in uniform. I'm like, is this normal in Florida? Because where I practice, the bailiffs are wearing uniforms. They look very proper. But he had on this kind of like old beat up looking knit black stocking hat. And he had on this like pleather looking jacket. He looked like he walked off the street. And then he's like, yeah, the judge is going to be maybe 5 minutes late. No, the judge is going to be maybe 20 minutes late, And the older attorney, he was clearly in his bedroom because he had this like nasty looking like rowing machine that was like half vertical or something in the corner. And you could tell it was like a home closet behind him with a jump rope. So good for him for exercising. But I was like, geez, you look so slovenly. Like, why would you broadcast on a Zoom court hearing with this junk in the background? It just looked very unprofessional.
You told me the bell was like, yo, it's time for the case.
Well, he didn't say yo, but he was pretty friendly and laid back. So I was like, this is the bailiff? I thought he would be like dressed up in some sort of uniform.
What color was the judge?
The judge is some sort of Latina, Hispanic person. What was her last name? Something like Minya Sanchez Lawrence. Yeah.
Sounds hot.
Well, I don't know what she looked like because she didn't show her face, but you can Google her. She looked nice. She's not even that old. I mean, in her picture, she looked like she could be in her 40s.
Ooh, speaking of being late, I love the girl that you have on to read with the microphone. the black woman. I love her.
Nadine.
I love the way she reads.
Yes, she's great. She's great.
She has a great personality, great spirit. I like
Yeah.
it. Because I heard her talking about the Karen Reed case, and she knows her shit. She really knows the details. I like that. I want to be on with her.
Okay.
If you can handle 2 black people at one time.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, so once again, I know people got mad when she and I were just mainly focusing on reading just a complaint. But,
Why
if you
they say,
guys
black women can't read? It's so stereotypical shit.
No, they're
I hate
just
things
mad.
like that.
They're mad about the case because people have very opposing views of what happened and whether Karen is guilty or not, or whether she actually did hit her boyfriend. So I have lots of questions. So I'm so happy that Emily said she'd be willing to come on because, of course, you do want to get guests who know the case very, very well. And that's why people weren't watching my latest foray into it because, as people were like, Judy, you don't know anything about the case, so it's like, okay, well, I'm just trying to bring some information, I don't claim to be any sort of expert there.
I love your imitation of white people, though. It's spot on.
What, being all whiny and uppity and entitled? Yeah. I'm just kidding. Just kidding,
You're so
guys.
racist. I love it.
What? I've grown up with people that are not my race, so I think I have a good feel for certain types of people. So, yeah. So, guys, I am bravely putting my sort of throwaway email, not the Yahoo account that Vince was referencing, but if you'd like to be a guest, and especially if you think you know that Karen Reed case really well, then please contact me. So my email's in the chat. So what do you think, Vince? Do you think I'm going to lose tons of subscribers and make everybody mad?
If you cover Karen Reed, no. Why would they care? I don't know why. I think you will gain people, especially if you bring Emmy. I'm going to text John just one more time to check his email. And if he has time, he'll come on.
How did you get back on his good side for the 80th time? I swear they have like a bipolar, very strange relationship. And he says that Vince is obsessed with him.
Yeah, we're talking about Stuttering John and Melendez, and we have this type of relationship. It's sort of to me, it's like a goof in terms of our entertainment. Like a lot of times he's mad. He's legitimately mad at me, but then he gets over it for the most part. It's nothing like that serious. I got to check my lights.
Okay. Yeah. Because I did hear that sometimes Vince has actually been a good friend or helped John in the past. So, but then on the other hand, it sounds like Vince sometimes one-ups him or makes fun of him and betrays his trust. So why do you keep betraying his trust and playing jokes on him? Is that your love language?
No, sort of. It's what guys do. And where we grew up, it was something where I never heard anyone, Miss Judy, ever apologize for anything ever in my life. And that sounds weird, right? Like I never heard someone say, I'm sorry, ever.
Not
until
even
I went to
your
college.
Parents?
No, oh my God, definitely not my parents.
What?
My parents have never admitted to being wrong about anything. Never have I heard I'm sorry until I went to college. And I was so shocked because these two guys got into like not a physical fight, but a fight, an argument. And one apologized to the other. And it hit me so hard. I still remember it, that the ability to apologize is such a powerful thing in life. And you learn authentically apologize and you learn from it. And ever since then, I've tried to forgive people for what they do and better understand them. I love to judge people based upon their skin color, obviously, but you have to walk in their shoes. And I say it all the time before you can really judge somebody. Yeah,
exactly. And you have to at least temper your stereotypes so you don't blatantly offend people, right?
Yeah,
Vince?
that's hard for me.
It's all about people's feelings, okay? So thank you, big fan. I've never had beer can chicken. Have you?
Have you ever had?
No, I've never had it.
Oh,
what is
then you're
that?
in for a treat.
What's
John
that?
Melendez cooks the best beer can chicken. It
Yeah,
combines
but
two of his
what is
favorite
it?
things, beer and chicken.
Okay, not beer and Asian women.
I was going to say,
But I can't
if
tolerate.
there's only a way we can incorporate Asian women into the ingredients, it would be his favorite dish.
Okay. So anyway, what should we do next then? Bring up your Adelson thing?
Yeah, I mean, because I was going back and watching Wendi Jill from trial 1, and of course we had the best trial attorney there questioning her. And if you do believe that she was guilty, I think she would have been convicted in this trial. That's how poorly she performs. I jump around it in a little bit, but yes, that is our Wendi Jill Adelson. This is trial number 1, correct?
Yes,
Or 2?
because she had slightly frizzier hair in trial 2. Yeah, so trial 1 was the smooth hair.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
so
that's
I
and the
can
judge is different, obviously.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
So this
Wheeler.
judge was number 1, the Wheeler.
No, I
that
think
his
he's number
I
2.
thought this was 2.
Yeah,
so this
number
is trial
2 is
2.
Wheeler. Yeah.
Yeah, so the first trial judge was the one that was speaking weird. He had the brain issue.
Brain cancer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he eventually
Hankinson.
died.
Yeah.
Is Wheeler still alive?
Yes. And he's Tim Jansen's fraternity little brother.
Oh, God.
So he has his connection. Tim mentioned it many times.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah. Okay. Should I play it?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Thank you.
This is
That's
all
Wendi on the
about
stand.
you, isn't it?
Excuse me?
This is all about you, right?
I was called to be a witness and I'm testifying, so I don't understand the question. Is it a question?
And it's all because of your failed marriage, right?
I disagree with that.
You disagree that your ex-husband is dead because of your family.
Yes, I disagree.
These jurors are here for weeks doing their civic duty because of your marriage, right?
No.
Can you think of one person in this world that would actually hire two people to go kill Professor Markel other than your family?
No, no.
Ms. Adelson, please
I'd
address
love
me and
to.
answer
It's
the
just it
question.
calls for an unbelievable amount of speculation. I mean, I'm responsible
Judy?
for coming up with, that's the prosecutor.
Was she represented at this trial?
Yes, she always had John Lauro with her, as far as I know. Plus,
What
she
a
also
horrible job he did. I mean, it's just so horrible. So that question, right? It's an obnoxious question, but you should be asking more obnoxious questions when you're preparing your witness so that she's not shocked. I mean, this is such a horrible answer. I forgot what the question was, but she literally turns to the judge and says, "Your Honor," as if she wants him to bail her out.
Yeah.
That is so horrible. Whatever the question he asked, she could have said yes, and everyone moves on. But she doesn't have that training and capability at this point in her life.
Yeah, because she's used to being treated with kid gloves. You know,
Yes and
like
no. She
people
has a
doing
narcissistic
favors.
mother.
Yeah, people doing favors for her, kowtowing to her because she looks hot. Yeah. So
I
with
think
those
you got a
doe-eyed
wrong-
looks.
That is the doe-eyed. She is so doe-eyed in this one. I got to
Yeah.
give her that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's just about to say that's the prosecutor's job. So
Right.
true
Horrible
lifestyles
answer.
focused on this. Yeah, that's the prosecutor's job. Okay, maybe I'll back it up a tiny bit.
Speculation. I mean, I'm responsible for coming up with, that's the prosecutor's duty, no? To figure out who's responsible.
Shortly after the divorce was final, did Wendi invite you to a Get Her Groove Back party?
She did invite me to a party in her new apartment or townhouse, but she invited me to a party. It was called Wendi Gets Her Groove Back, and I had several friends I knew of Wendy's that were there as well, and it was just sort of a Wendy's in a good place, come celebrate my new life party. Yeah, in Tallahassee.
Total amount of attorney's fees
Miss
and
Judy?
costs that you incurred in this case.
Yep.
First, the Wendi Gets Her Groove Back party doesn't support your claiming and allows me to probably have 3 helpings of turkey this Thanksgiving, because to me, she's in a good spot. and she's admitting to it to someone other than her mom that she's in a good spot, that she's throwing a party about it.
No, she's happy because she's getting divorced from Dan. She's not happy because she's stuck in Tallahassee. That would be different if she had a big party the day the relocation thing got denied. But, you're always just twisting the facts and stuff. That's why I need Emily to teach me about the Karen Reed case, because that's a total hot button case, and people told me not to trust you for the details.
Well, that's true. And Emily is a teacher, and she loves doing that. And I know you love correcting me, and she does too. The issue with this divorce attorney, she's about to disclose how much Wendi Jill spent on her representation. But before this attorney was asked that question, and the answer should just be whatever the number is. She took about 3 minutes explaining all the things that she did, as opposed to just saying the number. How much would you have charged Wendi Jill for the representation approximately?
Well, you mean back in 2014?
Yeah.
In 2014, my hourly rate was probably like $275, roughly.
I feel like her number's $30,000. I feel like you wouldn't even charge half of that.
No, I think back then, well, when I first started my practice back in 2006, I was so business stupid that I would only ask for, say, like $2,000 up front. But,
right.
Once you keep practicing and you're learning and getting screwed over by people, then gradually that retainer goes higher and higher. But I've never asked some divorce client for $30,000.
No, I don't think she asked it up. I wouldn't ask for $30,000 up front either. I think this was the total billing.
Oh.
And yeah, you wouldn't get many clients if all you're going to say is give me $30,000 up front. The one thing about representing someone in a matrimonial case, at least from New York's standpoint, they're not going to settle this entire case in terms of distributing all the assets until you get paid as well. So I don't even care asking for that much upfront at all. If we ever do divorce cases, very rare, but eventually we have that protection as we'll get paid eventually once the case is finalized.
Yeah, but most attorneys don't even do these types of divorce cases on a sort of contingency fee basis because it's just too risky. You can do all this work and be all stressed out, and then, the client won't pay you,
I don't think you're allowed to do it on contingency. I may be wrong about that. I'm just saying,
in my state, you could it's not contingency,
really?
but saying that you would get paid later once the person receives the money from equitable distribution.
And that's an interesting thing because Karen Reed now has a civil lawsuit filed against various defendants. I value her case at anywhere between $0 and $50 million, literally, in terms of what she's going to recover. And she has contingency attorneys. She has attorneys defending her because she's getting sued for wrongful death, and she has her own car insurance attorneys that are paying for that. But they started a GoFundMe for her again for the expenses. Now, generally a contingency attorney, we advance all the expenses on behalf of the client. Mm-hmm. And if you can't afford it, then they find another attorney that can afford it. So that's sort of the contention that a lot of people are having, where we supported Karen financially during the criminal trial, which I agree with. But the civil trial where she's in a business venture to get potentially tens of millions of dollars, I don't feel it's necessarily right that people are fronting that money as opposed to the attorneys or a litigation loan or her herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and isn't that weird? Doesn't she have a whole brigade of attorneys? I mean, how come their firms don't have the money to front the cost then? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they should. Huh? I mean, yeah, you're right. They should, if they're, especially if they're representing her on a contingency basis.
Exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't donate to that.
No, I wouldn't either. Now, I'm pro Karen and I'm pro what's going on here, but just to me that seems a little odd.
Yeah, it does. And plus there are companies, at least where I practice, that will give legal funding. Remember, that's what Charlie and Ryan Fitzpatrick tried to do too, some sort of legal funding business.
Yeah, so those who don't know, those loans that are given to people technically are not actual loans, so you can get around the usury laws. So a usury law meaning that you can only charge a certain percentage of interest, maybe it's 20% max, but if you do a loan that's contingent on an outcome of something, they can charge you 50%, even 100%. But if you don't win anything, you don't have to pay it back. So that's how they get around the usury laws in most states.
Okay.
That's why it's a lucrative thing. So if you had hard cash to loan and you know how to analyze cases, a lot of clients will take that money knowing that they won't have to pay it back if they don't lose, if they lose.
Okay. Great. Should I keep playing it?
Keep going.
Okay.
Probably about $30,000.
You just said a moment ago, you disagree that Hitman killed Professor Markel. So my question to you is, if you're able to say, well, it wasn't Hitman, then who? Tell this jury. Who on this planet would have wanted to kill Professor Markel?
Donna Adelson.
Hey, Vince. Tell Miss Judy to get that bikini ready.
I have no idea.
You're a smart person, right?
How am I supposed to answer that?
I just have to say that looked really creepy. That didn't look like her at all.
The funny thing, I heard this was done quick. A lot of times you have to alter the original picture. I think that one was an upside down one where you put the picture upside down, they'll do it. But if not, because it's coming from a public person, I don't know what happened. But
Okay.
either way,
Well.
but the message is true. I think that was actually a real message to
Yeah,
you.
sure. Okay.
Well, let's go through your resume. You went to Brandeis University. You graduated magna cum laude. If you could explain to the jury what that means.
I studied a lot and got good grades.
It means you're wicked smart, right? Very high GPA. You also went and you got a master's degree from the University of Cambridge. You were a Gates Scholar.
I was.
You're also a published author. Right?
Now you're just embarrassing me.
Why are you embarrassed that you're a published author?
I don't like talking about myself.
Is it because the book that you wrote discredited Tallahassee and spoke ill of it?
The book did not discredit Tallahassee. It wasn't about Tallahassee.
You're a smart woman, right?
I am a smart woman.
There's information about this case everywhere. You'd agree with me on that, right?
I've been advised by my lawyer not to read it.
We're not talking about reading stuff. There's podcasts,
Also not to listen.
TV shows,
Also not to watch.
articles.
Don't read.
And you made the decision, I'm not going to look at any of this stuff.
Correct.
I don't want to know what happened to the father of my two children.
Not I don't want to know what happened.
How?
I just have to break in and say her demeanor seems totally inappropriate during this line of back and forth. Like, why is she smiling and just so proud of herself for not reading anything about her kid's father's murder? And
That and also
she looks crazy.
Yeah, she does. And it's a horrible job by whatever attorney prepared her. She thought she was being cute by battling him. If he asked podcast, don't listen. Newspaper, don't read. Those are horrible answers. People are going to end up hating you, but they're technically wrong. The answer should be yes or no. It's not coming back with a quick response. Somewhere in her mind, she was never taught that this isn't a competition between you two. You're not here to show the attorney up. If she politely and correctly answered yes to those questions, you wouldn't even remember any of this. She would have been convicted if she was on trial. That's how bad she performed, and that's how bad she was prepared.
Yeah, but since she's so wicked smart, she thought that she was going to charm the pants off everyone. Because I think this is what she's done her whole life, is just like smile and give her big bulgy doe-eyed looks and flirt and, think that she can pull a fast one. Have women
I don't know. I don't think
acted
she's
like
evil.
that with you?
I don't think she's as evil as you think, basically because of her mom. When you have that narcissistic mom always hanging over you, it's not as easy as you think. She's not as manipulative as you would think.
Oh, she's not manipulative because her mom's a narcissist. Yeah. I mean, these weird leaps of logic, they just, I don't know, they make me roll my eyes at you. I'm sorry.
Remember to keep, speaking of a narcissist, John's not a narcissist, but keep an eye on the backstage there.
Okay, I don't
for some
see
reason-
anybody.
Okay.
Maybe he's mad at you again.
No.
How can you say you love those boys if you don't care who killed the father that they loved?
Of course I care who killed the father that they love.
Charlie Adelson.
Then why won't you look at the stuff?
I've been advised not to.
Are you afraid that when you look at it, you're going to realize that your brother did this?
I am not afraid of that.
You don't realize that you could be helpful in finally untangling this to give this jury the truth about what happened to Professor Markel?
I have been nothing but helpful since this started.
To what happened to their son? By you looking at it, you are at the center of all this, but you won't look at anything to help in the process.
I've done nothing but help in this process.
Do you honestly expect this jury to believe that you haven't confronted your brother about all of this?
Yes, I do expect them to believe that I did not confront my brother because I didn't.
Or maybe you don't need to because you know the truth in this case. You already know it. That he went behind your back, right?
Did not happen.
Who came up with the idea to kill Dan Markel?
Charlie.
So Sigfredo Garcia didn't come up with the idea?
No, ma'am, he did not.
Luis Rivera didn't come up with the idea?
No, ma'am, he did not.
You understand that until you expose your brother what he did, that everybody's going to consider you as guilty.
What is the question that you're asking me?
You understand that until you expose your brother and explain what he did, that he went behind everybody's back, that he hired a hitman to murder your ex-husband, you'll remain guilty in the eyes of the world.
I can't speak to the eyes of the world. I can only know that I have done nothing wrong.
Or maybe you are guilty.
I am not guilty.
We're coming back to maybe you do know, or maybe you were involved.
Excuse me? What's the question that you're asking me?
I'm giving you a header of what we're talking about so that it will ease you in the question, okay? I'm just telling you what the topic that we're on, so we'll get to a question. Now, just for context, Jeffrey Lacasse, he was also an FSU professor.
I was in love with this girl, man, so it's hard. She really has this charisma, this sexuality, and so, you throw yourself in front of a bus for this girl.
Nice guy, right?
I don't think so now.
Miss Judy?
You told Jeffrey Lacasse that Charles looked...
I commend Jeff for solving this case quickly, but now with hindsight, we could see that he was a little bit paranoid, and he did have a story that perhaps led everyone to think that Wendi was trying to set him up. And do you still believe that to this day that Jeff...
Of course. Yeah, that Wendi was trying to at least stir up some confusion and perhaps waste police resources into, looking into Jeff Lacasse as a potential suspect, especially at the latest trial where it was revealed that she had written some sort of weird email to her oldest brother, Rob, claiming that Jeff was her secret boyfriend, so don't tell mom and dad. And I believe she included a picture of him too. So that just didn't make any sense unless she wanted Jeff to look like a suspect. And of course, Rob did tell the law enforcement about Jeff as a possibility when they spoke with him.
Yeah, that didn't affect me one way or another because
Of
it
course
wasn't
it
Jeff.
wouldn't.
It wasn't Jeff Lacasse Berg. There are many reasons why Jewish girls will hide a goy from their mother if they're dating him.
But they already met him. He had already met the parents at least twice, so it was a total lie. So once again, you don't know the details, so you're so willing to spin it towards, oh no, here's an excuse for Wendi's weird behavior. I mean, you're just trying to get people riled up.
I'm just saying I'm not going to convict her.
Well, I certainly
that.
would because I know the facts, as opposed to, blah, 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 But,
look at those doe eyes. Come on, she didn't do it.
Yeah.
Look
So
at
she
them.
didn't do it just because she looked so hot. Yeah, right.
It's not even that hot. It's a doe-eyed look.
I would hate to have somebody like you on a jury. Jeez. Okay. So, somebody gave us a super chat. Thank you. I'm sorry, I scrolled down already. Yes, I definitely heard that. I didn't know it was okay to publicly say that.
Who is that?
So that's Alison Galvani's father, who is 80-something years old, and he is accused of strangling and dumping her mother into the San Francisco Bay back in 1982. So it's thanks to YouTube and some pressure that people put that they did arrest him.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I guarantee that's an Italian.
Yeah. But, see, you didn't watch it on my channel, but Allison has been a guest probably 2 or 3 times.
Oh, is that the girl who was
She's
even
a
asking?
professor. She's not a girl. She's like your age, and she's a professor at Yale, a science professor.
No, I'm thinking of someone different then.
Okay. some other girl. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Is she a boy or a girl?
She is a woman, and
There you
she's
go.
a
Hear her
tenured
roar.
professor. Yeah. Okay. Well, where was this? Okay. I think this means magna cum laude, only 3.5. Not that spectacular in
Well, compared to
undergrad.
Judy.
Yeah, I agree.
What was your cum
at
laude?
Brandeis. No, I didn't. I didn't actually get any honors because UC Berkeley was so competitive.
Oh,
So-
bring big shame to family, Judy.
Yeah. Plus, I was an ethnic studies major, so that was not something to be that proud of, I guess. But at least I got into law school. So, yeah.
Oh,
so,
no, doctor, big shame.
Yeah, but it wasn't that important. My parents still thought it was great to go to law school back then. Yeah.
I make fun of my Indian neighbor who's a multimillionaire, but he went into finance and not a doctor. And he's a big disappointment to the family.
Okay. Well, he could still get a MD, maybe from some unaccredited school, I guess. Probably not. So it's not
That's
worth
your
it.
dad's plan.
Okay, let's go on.
Didn't
There's
hire
another
any hitman.
chat.
You deny that, or you admit that?
I deny that.
You sent an email to Jeffrey Lacoste saying that you wanted to break up, that you needed space, right?
I did.
Sent him a long email, stay away, we're broken up. You knew that he was leaving on the same day of the murder, at the same exact time as the murder.
I don't think I did.
11 a.m. on July 18, 2014.
I don't think I knew when he was leaving town.
It's a good way to put the blame onto somebody else. You'd agree on that, right?
I have no idea when he was going to leave town.
Your interview, July 18, 2014, you said, my brother, he joked about hiring a hitman.
If you found out that this was someone that you personally know, would that change your mind about what should happen to that person
About what should happen to that person?
for prosecution purposes?
No.
Think
If
somebody
somebody tried to kill my ex-husband, they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
regardless of who it is.
I mean, it would be different if I thought it were my brother, but I don't think it was my family.
Miss Judy?
Anyone outside my immediate family, that's a tough one.
Yeah, what does she mean by that? It would be different if I thought it was my brother.
It's bizarre. I think that she has already been trying to subtly point fingers at Charlie to divert attention from her. That's why she went ahead and brought up the hitman joke and that her family was so mad at him. But of course they wouldn't kill him, So a lot of this was just her deflecting, trying to put attention on Charlie, Dan's girlfriend's ex-husband, maybe Jeff, all sorts of other things, but definitely not her. And I do know at the beginning of this clip, like the way she's like snorting and sniffling so hard, that looks so fake. Like, did you notice that? Like, who goes like this, like...
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. Like, she's overacting, and it just looks so phony now.
The thing is, but you forget that it's her ex-husband that she just went through a complete war with. She's not necessarily fond of the guy. I mean, she should. It's her kid's father, but she's not fond of him. Would you cry when if your ex died?
Probably. I don't know. I mean,
like,
he's
it would be
still
a different
alive.
cry. It would be a different cry than someone you really care about.
Yeah, but she hated him. She called him an STD. And she said the only way she could leave Tallahassee was if something happened to Danny. And this was just less than a week before he was actually killed. So
What the hell is that
she
racket I
hated
hear in the
him.
background?
Oh, you can hear it? I'm sorry. Maybe I should shut the door. My son is practicing piano again. but I'm 2 floors up, so I didn't think it would. Okay, sorry, keep talking. Here, you run the show. I don't know if that's a good thing, but hold on.
Yeah, Judy had told me that the Chinese star throwing class was ending at 5:15. I didn't know he'd move right into piano. I figured there'd be some other lesson, maybe violin or Mandarin lessons before that. But this happened last time where the kid was yapping with that stupid piano as opposed to being quiet when the mom's actually trying to do a show here. There's a professional broadcast system here, and we can't have that. The funny thing about Miss Judy is we try and come up with stereotypical Chinese things so that I can use them as joke.
I'm back. What did you say about me?
No, nothing.
Embarrassing things?
No, it's just killing time.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. What were we talking about? Oh, how much Wendi hated Dan and how she felt stuck in Tallahassee. As long as this STD, this horrible person, Dan Markel, was still in the picture.
What do you mean STD?
That's what she called him. That came out at Donna's trial. There was some sort of email or a text where Wendi referred to him as an STD, sexually
Like never goes
transmitted
away.
disease.
Yeah, I get that, but never goes away, implying that he's always going to be around.
Yeah. Should I keep playing it?
Sure.
Okay.
But I don't think my immediate family did this, so
Okay.
if it's anybody else, yeah.
Okay. Would do you think that this guy Charlie would even be capable of doing something like this?
No.
Let's just talk.
He's the joker.
Perhaps that was you just planting a seed to divert the attention of law enforcement away from you.
It was not.
In the time after the murder, you changed their last names from Markel to Adelson, right? Why?
I was scared
Of what?
of someone coming to attack them.
Did you cause the death of Professor Dan Markel?
Absolutely.
Did you hire anyone to kill him?
I did.
It's a year later, you won't look at anything because you don't want to know what's going on in the case. The thought is, well, they're going to be protected if they have my last name and not Markel, right?
Yes.
Now, years later, arrests are made. It's clear who committed the murder, Sigfredo Garcia Luis Rivera. The Adelson name has been dragged through the mud. Why haven't you continued to protect your boys and changed the name back?
I will be changing I'm not going to change the name back. I don't think that will help. One day I'll change all of our names.
You know what happened here, despite your claims to the jury that you haven't looked at anything, you haven't discussed with anybody, and you haven't confronted your brother. You know what happened here, right?
I do not know what happened here, and if I did, I would have shared it with the police 8 years ago.
You know that your brother went behind your back.
He got in the car with me and he asked me, do you know anybody that can harm someone?
If you're not going to say all of that and finally give the truth, why don't you just admit to this jury that you're guilty?
Because I'm not guilty.
Believe it.
Believe it.
Believe it.
That's all I know. And he was like, can I see your ID? And I was like, why are you laughing? I could be 18. I'm sorry. So I was like, I love to be asked how old I am. I'm like, I'm old as dirt. I don't think he's gonna make it. Oh my God. I had like a little banter and he was like, your eyes are so blue. And I was like, thank you.
I was in love with this girl, man, so it's hard. And she really has this charisma, this sexuality, and so, he threw himself in front of a bus for this girl.
Hey, Vince, tell that little egg roll to get that bikini ready. This will never happen. Keep dreaming, Miss Judy. This will never happen. That Chinese dumpling, she better hit the gym, and this will never happen.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Well, it's weird how she becomes sort of like this Barbie doll, Christy Brinkley looking thing, but that looked creepy.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's how AI goes sometimes. But you are looking a lot fitter than when we first started. So perhaps this whole challenge, and I think I've gained, I gained 10 pounds. Yeah, I know it is good. And I've gained weight knowing that sweet Wendi Jill Angel.
Yeah, right.
Wendi Jill
You're always
will
at
not
the
be-
gym. You're always at the gym. At least you're sort of wearing a tighter, thinner top like I instructed you to do. Because we have 70% ladies here.
Yeah, but 70% of them hate me.
They might like you if you wear that muscle tank top.
I don't think so. I gained weight since this competition. That's a problem. I know that I have no chance of losing.
Yeah, whatever. So you're going to pig out for Thanksgiving?
I think so.
Oh, there's a question for you.
There were a few super chats that somehow, John
Did I
Edward
miss-
Melendez, he's so beautiful at reading super chats. He always has them up. He can always find them. He never misses them.
Okay, thank you, True Crime Wifey. Yes, it's public record that Alison Galvani's father has been arrested.
Hey, I've been arrested.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a murderer from what we believe, from what we've seen, and he's gotten away with it since 1982. So, I'm so glad that, finally something is happening. So many years. Oh, Vince is getting paid by the Adelsons to be nice. How would you like to respond?
It's not true. I'm not being nice for any other reason than being objective towards Wendi Jill. I've said the others were guilty when they were guilty, and the ones that aren't guilty aren't guilty. The case is over now.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope you're totally wrong. So what do you think of the state calling her a co-conspirator repeatedly since January 2022?
I believe that they did that basing it on what Jeff was saying, and they
So
really
because
put it.
Jeff said it, they're going to call her a co-conspirator
Well,
publicly.
Jeff had. It was plausible that she was setting Jeff up initially, but then you sort of realize that it just wasn't practical considering the two dopes that Charlie eventually hired indirectly. They had no clue when the hell it was going to go down. Wendi Jill had no idea when it would actually take place. So yeah, that's why.
So why is it that coincidentally she's seen driving up to the crime scene within an hour and a half-ish after Dan was shot? I'm sure she didn't expect Officer Brannon to be there and know what her vehicle looked like. But he saw her do a quick 3-point turn without making any sort of inquiry.
And Wendi Jill admitted to being there when she was questioned by the cops that very day.
What?
Yeah,
so
she
you
did.
believe that she thought it was a downed tree and she just drives by there for old time's sake to come to terms with her divorce, but she was in such a rush to go meet her friends. Have you seen that map where it shows her circuitous route where she goes way south of her townhome, down over to Trescott, then, back down going west, then back up again to the ABC liquor store to buy Bullet rye whiskey, then way up north to go to lunch with her friends. Have you seen that map?
I have, and it is suspect. However, Jeff
She just
admitted.
enjoyed driving around, even when she's in a rush to meet her friends, right?
Are you ignoring the fact that Jeff admitted that they would drive by that house literally 100 times because that's the way Wendi would always drive?
But that makes no sense in the context of her saying she was in a rush. She was in such a rush that morning that she didn't even have time to shower, but she had to meet her friends at Mosaic, which was a direct, short, westerly drive from her townhome instead of having to go south, then west again, then north again. I mean, I did a drive-by drive type of video. I think we talked about that, but when I was in town for Charlie's trial, Fancy Fiction drove me there. So you can watch that
Obviously.
again. Yeah, because when you
She's
see
not
the
gonna let
video,
you drive.
haha. Well, I didn't have a rental car, so I actually am a pretty good driver. So I just can't do, what do you call it? What's that when you back
Steer,
up into?
turn.
Will you stop stereotyping?
Park.
What's that when you pull your car from the front to the back or something, and the parallel parking? I can't do that.
Oh
too
yeah, no
well.
way.
Yeah, I admit I can't parallel park. Vince, this is a random question, but did you get
okay.
loans to go?
I didn't. I actually had half academic scholarship, believe it or not, and then my dad paid for the rest. He was always supportive of that. We didn't have a lot of money, but he always said he'll pay for as much schooling as I wanted, and he never pressed it on me. I never thought I'd go to law school at all. I have no idea why. I was fascinated with the O.J. Simpson case, the trial that was going on during undergrad, and really it's the only thing I could think of as to why I went to law school.
Did you
I had
go
no desire.
straight from
Yeah.
college?
Straight
Oh.
in.
Well, you can't say you had no desire because you still had to prepare for the LSAT, take the LSAT, get teacher recommendations. So you had to have some sort of personal desire.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I just prepared for throughout the summer and took it When I
What?
walked into the LSATs, I'll never forget this. I think it was in Stony Brook University in New York. They had the sort of stadium seating, but the seats were attached to the chairs, the table, and like they swing out and swing in, like a college setting.
Oh.
And this girl, she was heavy. She sat down and boom. I mean, the chair broke. Now, that's the funniest thing. I know it's rude, but it's the funniest thing you'll ever see. And we just started, and you know that exam is very time sensitive. So that happened, and so there's a girl falling, and no one's like helping because I'm trying not to laugh, but yeah, I don't know if that affected my grade at all. I don't think it did, but I'll never forget that the first minute that it started, that chair collapsed on her.
Oh, okay. Well, she wasn't like really injured, right? So it's okay that nobody.
Who cares?
Like,
I don't know.
yeah, you didn't run over to assist.
No, I'm not a real man.
You're like, yay, one less person to compete with.
Yeah, and it was funny too.
Yeah.
John Eric Melendez is thinking about taking the LSATs, but he was saying that they're not going to require them anymore. I can't think that
maybe
is true.
for some unaccredited schools or schools that aren't well ranked. But yeah, I think some schools might take the GMAT, maybe.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. And that would be annoying. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
but
an annoying exam.
Yeah, he'd still have to study for it. So has he asked you for any tips or shown
Nah.
any real signs of preparing?
Nah, he gave up on that, it sounds like, although I don't know what his situation is.
Okay. Well, he didn't even bother showing up, so I guess he's
Oh,
not that
man.
excited to talk about the law school quiz or be on the show and stuff. It's like
Well, he'll
we
come
wasted so
eventually.
much time, trying to get him to be on. And some people are saying, well, good riddance, you're better off not having him on. So what do you think of that? You think he'd be
Potentially, but
bad?
I think John's a good guest. He's a professional, and you can have John on and have nothing prepared, and he'll be able to come up with something and just to speak with him.
Like pull out his guitar. Yeah, I was like laughing like crazy yesterday because I happened to click on his show and he like pulled out the guitar and started singing that ridiculous song about going downtown or something. I was like, what the hell is this? But at least it was funny as opposed to him just like yelling at people and saying, this person's like ripping off my show and,
Yeah, so
and making
John
that
does-
stupid elephant noise. I mean, what the heck is that? I hate that. It's so stupid. He needs to
It
stop
sounds like
doing
you're in
it.
love.
No, I'm not. I'm just telling my honest opinions of what he can do to improve his show if he wants more views compared to just like sitting there with like 10-second pauses and then getting mad and griping and grumbling and yelling skull. I was like, what the hell is skull? Like, why does he keep saying that? Okay, little did I know that's like a drinking term from
I think so, because he's Danish.
Europe, Scandinavian.
Yeah,
thing.
it is. That's why he says it. And he likes to drink, and he is half Danish, so he's allowed to say "skål" every time instead of "cheers." What do the Chinese say?
Ganpei, which means like, clink your cup. Yeah.
Gambe. What does that mean?
I just said so. Said it means something like clink your cup. Like the
Yeah.
clinking sound.
You Chinese are so practical. It's like,
Yeah,
not
like
cheers.
here's your cup. Yeah. Yeah, here's to your cup. Yeah.
By the way, I saw pictures from your trip to Hershey Park. How come you have to go to every single Asian restaurant? You can't do something different? You go all the way to Pennsylvania. You have to eat at every Asian place?
No, I had the best salad ever at Hershey Park, actually. It was very good.
No, but like outside of it. I saw you like,
no,
I
that
had
was
a-
in D.C. That was in D.C. because I met up with my nice Asian friends. So we went to all these like great like Vietnamese and Thai restaurants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even in North Carolina, there aren't that many great Asian restaurants. So it's a real treat to get closer to D.C.
Which is odd because learned that there's no chicken and broccoli in China. There's none of the Chinese food that's here is not there. So since it's all fake in terms of it was made for the white man here, why go to that in terms of Chinese food to a different place and eat Chinese food, which isn't really Chinese food. Meaning, like,
Well-
is Vietnamese food that's served here, is it similar to what's served in Vietnam? Or did they do the same thing that your people did?
I have no idea because I've never been to Vietnam before. So
Yeah, but of course you have some Vietnamese friends. They could tell you.
yeah, they can tell me like, yeah, this is really good food or something. Yeah.
Right.
So
But is there any place that serves authentic Chinese food in the States?
there are some places, but usually you have to order from the native menu, you know, which is all in Chinese.
So,
or there could be
You could do that.
Yeah. But there could be like say like Taiwanese restaurants that have more authentic dishes, whereas your standard generic US Chinese restaurant is going to have all the fake stuff, like those wontons with cream cheese in them.
I
That's
love
not
that.
Chinese at all. Or chicken wings. It's like, what's up with chicken wings? You know, like that's
Yeah,
not-
black people
not
love getting
real.
chicken wings at
Yeah.
Chinese restaurants
Yeah,
and ribs
that's like
for
a
some
joke.
reason.
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Yeah, it's my family, so I observe it. They love getting ribs from Chinese places. I never would get it from there.
Oh, okay. Hey, I did want to bring up something because several shows ago you mentioned there was an attorney that you worked for who married a stripper who had tried to kill his wife or
Yes, I
kill
forgot
him.
that
No,
aspect.
kill his wife.
Kill his
Yeah.
wife, and then he
frame
married
him.
her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and frame him,
She and
yeah.
her boyfriend were going to frame him. Yeah, so of course, being a nosy true crime person, I had to Google more. And she actually doesn't look good anymore. And it looks like they got divorced a while back. So she's somewhere in Europe now, maybe Germany or something. But I saw pictures of her on Facebook, and she's using her old last name, and she just looks pretty mediocre.
Yeah, you're referring to the firm I used to work for, Jaffe and Asher. I forgot which one was the partner that couldn't come to the United States.
Sanford Asher.
Asher. Are you sure? It was
Yeah.
I thought Sanford Asher was. I
No,
don't know, I
I'm
forgot which one was a
looking it
good
up
one.
right now.
So, yeah, that was my old.
Yeah. So the lap dancer was Lene Grosjean. I don't know how to pronounce that, but yeah, when I looked her up, I was like, oh, well, looks like they are no longer together. I wonder how that divorce went. So
That is cool, though. I forgot that she tried to not only kill his wife, but then frame him. That's how dumb guys are. The girl tried to murder someone and frame him, but he still ends up marrying her.
yeah, what an idiot. You know, like, yeah, so that's sort of like Jeff Lacasse, who was still in love with Wendi for a while, even though she repeatedly, allegedly cheated on him and treated him poorly and stuff. So
Never underestimate the power that you have between your legs. What did that say about American Express in that paragraph?
Huh?
Because Jaffe and Asher, their main client was American Express. And I explained this before, but technically law firms can't be owned by public companies. They have to be owned by attorneys in most jurisdictions. I think DC may be an exception.
Yeah.
But our main client was American Express. And there was something in that article that you said there.
it
with
says
regard-
that she used his American Express card and joined a high life while she had another boyfriend with whom she schemed to have Asher's estranged wife, Jane, killed and to plant his spectacles at the scene.
That's cool. So what was her end game? To frame my old law partner.
And
But what would she get out of doing that?
yeah, maybe,
No, I get why you'd want to just kill the wife and then you'd have him all to yourself in theory, but why would you want to frame him unless you can keep using his funds somehow?
yeah, unless she was going to get married to him first and then he would wind up in prison so she wouldn't have to be with him. I don't know. It's
See how
bizarre.
powerful what's
It's
between your legs
bizarre.
is? I mean, guys will do anything for it. That's why you never have to question if a guy's into you or not. You'll know. If they're into you, they're into you. I mean, he ended up marrying her after all of that. So who do we have here? That doesn't
That's
look like
her,
anyone.
the second woman that she looks kind of mannish. Doesn't she look sort of
That's a
man-like?
Swiss Miss?
Yeah, the second woman here.
Yeah, I mean, I never saw her. I only met him once at a Christmas party, and that was it.
Yeah.
That's
so
interesting.
It's insane that I wonder what she's doing. There was something about running an Airbnb in Europe.
You know what was cool about that job, Miss Judy? We represented American Express. They were basically running the law firm, although they couldn't technically own it. And we'd have customers that had the black card, the Centurion card, so that you could charge as much as you want. And I would always take those cases and I'd look up exactly what they were charging. I remember it was a New York Yankee that had $6 million in debt. God, I used to love him too. He was a chubby guy. He came on the Yankees in like the 94, 95 season. I wish I could remember his name. And his son ended up playing too. And he had $6 million. And I think we settled for like maybe $100,000 off of that. The celebrities we generally let go. And then we had another woman, I think her name was Barbara Kaufman. She was a stockbroker. She had $5 million. This was my biggest case that I settled for $800,000 off of $5 million in debt. It was cool because there was no limit with the card. You can literally charge whatever the fuck you want up to that month. And then if you didn't pay it back, then the issue would start. So those were the cases that I was working on way back then for Mr. Jaffe and Asher.
Oh, okay. Before they fired you. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
How bad do you have to be if that guy fires you? I mean, look at his judgment.
Yeah, he had pretty bad judgment. Yeah.
Not in firing me, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what else was I going to mention? So are there any other true crime cases that you think you're going to start covering? Because I still feel like you got to expand your horizons from just focusing on one case.
Yeah, well, I have to solve this murder first. And then once I solve this particular murder, I'll move on to nothing. I don't have anything that I'm interested in right now. And part of what makes our channel successful is the fact that I do have to know what's going on. I have to be able to make it funny and simplify it too. I'm not saying this is rocket science here, but I have to know the details. And when I get into something passionately, which I am about that case, as I was with the Adelson case, I enjoy it. And I enjoy bringing humor to it, but also teaching it too. Now, Miss Judy, I did say that you did send I said you're the classiest woman I know in LawTube is you, by far. I don't know, I mean, talking about the guys or girls. And that cool bribe that you gave to Georgia again, it was very nice of you to give her a bribe.
Give me a break. It's just like some flowers and some snacks that cost about $70-something. It's not like I was offering her $700,000 if she would prosecute Wendi.
Well, it is totally true. So Miss Judy did send some gifts to Georgia to thank her and remind her that
kind of give her some oomph and support, knowing that people are watching. Yeah. And I think I can say this now, that I think it really was because of YouTubers and supporters who wrote to the district attorney's office in San Mateo to help Allison's mom's murder case. So, because they even told her, they were surprised. They were surprised so many people cared and contacted them.
Yeah. So like a few things that I think about is like sometimes Corey Hopkins gets heat from her law firm. Maybe she does. I don't know. Maybe they don't appreciate the fact that she's doing so much for the Karen Reed case. She's the woman that you spoke to that works for that large firm near you, who I told you I'm in love with, the lesbian. That's the lesbian. And hey, we both had the same object. In fact, it was funny. On my scroll of YouTube shorts was the Dallas Cowboys, the cheerleaders dressed in Santa outfits. And I sent it to Corey. I said, "Merry Christmas." And, some girls may get offended by really sexy girls in skimpy Santa outfits doing their dance. But, hey, she loves it probably, right? Merry Christmas. What else can you give a lesbian for Christmas?
I don't know. Nut loaf? Is that a joke? Nut loaf?
No, I don't think they want anything with nuts in it. But either way,
I'm just joking. Sorry, guys. I'm a big supporter of gay, lesbian rights. So.
Yeah, Judy's like, I love the fags, right? Is that what you want to say?
That is not what I want to say. Just in case people got offended because I mentioned nut loaf and U-Hauls. Okay.
Oh, well, U-Haul, I get. I had no. I mean, the nut. Were you going with the
See,
nuts?
you don't. No, it's supposed to be a joke because there used to be this big lesbian festival called Mitch Fest. And the big joke was that all the ladies would have canes and have fibromyalgia and be sharing nut loaf recipes because they're all like vegetarian vegans and they would make nut loaf.
Oh, okay, yeah.
See, you don't get it because you didn't
I
know
had
this
no
culture.
idea.
Yeah. Maybe Corey knows it. Yeah. But I did ask her to be on the show, but it sounds like her firm doesn't want her to really be out there, which is typical
right.
with most firms.
Yeah, most large firms like that. But Bob Alessi works for a much larger firm, and he was able to do it. So I believe that it's prejudicial against.
But wasn't Bob Alessi one of the actual attorneys working on the case?
Yeah, so he's doing technically more than Corey, and his firm didn't give him any shit for it. That's because he's a male.
No, but wasn't he being paid to be her
No,
attorney?
not at all.
Oh, it's just because he cared so much that he jumped in?
Yeah, he works for DLA Piper, which is probably...
I'm very familiar.
Fine.
with that.
So you know that they don't represent little individuals unless you're a white corporate CEO. Maybe they'll go in the criminal court.
Yeah, or
But-
some pretty white woman.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, then we'll do anything. Even if you try and murder us and frame us, we'll still marry you, apparently.
Yeah.
That's how bad guys are. But the point is, like, I would love for people... I always say this. I never asked her about this, but if people would write to her firm or send her thank you cards and thank you flowers to her firm, maybe they would realize how important she is to the movement and how important she is to solving this crime. And it's not fair to her to feel like she can't help out just because her firm thinks it's not a great idea. Perhaps they do. I don't know if they do or not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is a fine line because she's an associate and it looks like she's only worked there a few years. So whatever those partners say, she pretty much has to listen to that because, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. So.
Yeah. I know.
What's this? Okay, I think this is for you. You can read it.
Go ahead. Vince is threatening to share someone's private, unclothed images illegal in New York. I know that you being close to a victim of this have some insight. It's a good question. So we're talking about revenge porn, private, unclothed. Everything in law is it depends. You can share someone's naked body picture if they want you to, if you're doing it for a valid reason according to whatever state law that you're applying. I can't give legal advice, obviously, so this is not legal advice to anyone. Always get your own attorney. If you want to share any naked pictures of Miss Judy or anyone else, you have to get your own advice, especially if you're in New York. But it's an interesting statute. Not every state has revenge porn, but it has to be something that all states eventually do because of the phone and everyone sexting, you don't necessarily want your ex having all pictures and then using them against you. So it could be, and it depends. You have to check the statute and the situation. If the two people agreed to it, if it was something where that person was out in the open and doing it, and there's an entertainment part to it, there's a newsworthy potential exception to it, so you never know. It all depends on the intent of the person.
Yeah, but in general, to get revenge on an ex probably is illegal. Well, of course, this is not legal advice. I have no idea. But Mafka is saying revenge porn is only illegal in South Carolina. Okay,
Hey,
I don't
that's
know
cool.
about that. Yeah. Okay, the U-Haul joke. Well, we're totally going off topic, but since you asked, the joke is that
You tell her my lights
lesbians.
went.
Okay, go.
And Corey
Did a
loved
clap
this joke,
on-
but Corey loved the joke when I told it to her. She has a great sense of humor.
Yeah. So the joke is, what do lesbians bring on the second date? And you say a U-Haul. Because this is what I've seen with my lesbian friends. They do tend to get attached so quickly. Like as soon as they find someone that they think they have chemistry with, they just think this is my forever person and we're moving in together. So that's why there's that U-Haul joke. But
How
the
did you
sad
tell
thing,
her? What does a lesbian bring to a second date?
Yeah, I just said that.
A U-Haul?
A U-Haul.
I don't know if you told the joke.
Yeah, I said that anyway. So hopefully people laugh instead of getting offended or something.
Yeah, you don't get offended when we watch our favorite movie and they go to the Chinese restaurant at the end.
Well, I don't think that's that. Well, I mean, I'm sort of offended at 16 Candles, though, where they had the Long Duck Dong character, and he's the exchange student, and every time he showed up, they would have that gong sound, and then he was like this big dork. What, you didn't, did you watch that? You were too young.
Yeah, but I don't remember that part. Yeah. No, I'm not too young. I just I don't remember that part. How rude. I love doing the gong with you.
But then he hooked up with the tall, skinny white girl with the braces at the end. Yeah. But anyway, I mean, that's always been seen as yet another example of racist stereotypes in American media and stuff. So that's more offensive because he clearly was the butt of all jokes throughout the movie. And he had a bad accent, so of course you're supposed to laugh because he has a bad accent too.
Yeah, well, it's funny. And don't look down upon Americans. The Chinese and the Taiwanese do the same thing. Everyone's looking down on everyone else. It makes you feel better.
Yeah, but we're talking about life here in America. So,
yeah.
So if it's being used as a way to taunt Asian Americans, then that's when it becomes offensive.
Oh, yeah. So, your group turned out so horribly here, let me tell you.
Well, I mean, but there's still discrimination. There's still discrimination.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, for example, look at YouTube. It's like, why do these white guys who have less experience than I do, why do they get all the views and subscribers? I mean, granted, my voice has been going downhill too, but that does annoy me to some respect, in some degree. It's like, wait a second, it's like people don't want to hear you because they don't identify with you, or they have certain stereotypes that you're not credible. But this person is credible because he speaks so well. He's like an old white male, never mind that some of these people don't know the case that well.
Most of them don't. I get what you're saying, but it's like that in every industry, Miss Judy. Like if I walk in to a doctor's office and I see a white guy, I'm going to be pissed. You know what I want to see. I want to see an Asian if it's a doctor's office.
Well,
it's a give and take.
Well, I mean, that's different. But anyway, yeah, what's this?
But again, if I walk into my accountant's office, I want to see a Stein, Steen, or Berg at the end of that name.
CPA? Okay.
You better believe it.
Well, what are Italian people good at?
I don't know. Not
Making
much.
Cakes?
Yeah,
Making
pizza.
Cakes?
Yeah, right. You're right. If I walk into a pizza shop, I want to see a Ginzo back there. I don't want to see your people making me pizza.
Yeah.
Or pasta. What do you guys know about pasta?
Well, supposedly it was invented in China, but yeah, there are some good Chinese noodle shops. But
joking.
Yeah, if I wanted lasagna, I don't want to see Chinese people working there.
Exactly.
But I told you there were Latino people working at my favorite Italian restaurant. I was surprised. I was like, this is like the best Italian restaurant in Durham, North Carolina, and I don't see any Italian-looking people there. So.
Yeah, that's how it is here too. Actually, all our pizza places are Spanish workers.
Oh, okay. Should Alec Murdaugh get a retrial based on the actions of the chief clerk?
The unfortunate thing is yes, and we have to err on the side of caution with regard to this thing because he's guilty as fuck, Alec Murdaugh, but we can't have a system in place where you have the clerk intervening with the judicial process to the point where she's influencing the jury.
What did she say to them?
I don't exactly remember what, so I don't want to necessarily, but whatever she did, and I recall that it was pretty significant. Like she was telling them things. She shouldn't be communicating with them at all. And we have to protect the process, and we have to let criminals that are guilty go sometimes in order to protect this process.
Huh. Okay. Well, thanks for bringing that up. It's been so long since I even thought about that case.
Me too. And I love that case. I really, really love that case. I mean, I don't love what happened, but
it was interesting because finally you see these rich, privileged people get
Judy
their
loves
comeuppance. Yeah. Okay.
You know,
so
she
Becky
loves when the
Hill,
white man gets taken down.
Becky Hill, 57, was charged with perjury, obstructing justice, and misconduct. What did she allegedly do, though? She released or made available scaled evidence photographs to a third party. Oh, sealed evidence. And then
That
she
wouldn't
used,
affect the jury.
yeah,
That
she
would affect
used her office to promote a book she co-authored about the trial on social media for her own financial gain. Okay, that sounds bad.
no
But
big
what did
deal.
she say to the jurors?
She was doing something with them. And the funniest thing about that whole situation with this woman here is when she's questioned by this judge, I still to this day don't know if the judge was a guy or a girl. I think it looked like a woman, but it had a man's voice. It was so odd. I'll pull it up for next time when she's getting questioned. These are the kind of things.
Thank you. Thank you, Mavka. She was saying stuff like, he's testifying today. Don't believe that murderer's lies.
Yeah,
That
and I agree
sounds
with that
bad.
statement, but she should not be influencing the jury at all. He would have been found guilty on his own. I mean, what a horrible person taking the stand. The decision is just horrible. But he hired 2 attorneys that he thinks are going to get him off. They didn't get him off. The old guys are not going to get you off like that. He needed something completely different. And this is where the good old boys in your neighborhood can fault you sometimes, because he needed someone that can actually win the case. Yeah, they can maybe make deals for you, but these 2 attorneys he had were not going to win this case for him.
Okay. Yeah.
What was that last super chat?
Did we show that? Yeah, we showed
Oh,
that.
okay.
Okay.
No one accused you of eating dog this
Yeah. Was that you? I think that was you.
No,
That
no,
was
no.
you.
It was not. That was actually one of our fans, Mr. Doodle. He's famous, and I think he was implying because his character's a dog. You know how mature we are over there.
Oh, okay.
And like,
Yeah.
You know, like if people were eating Asian women, you'd be pissed too, even if it was a remote part of your people.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, so are you still going to keep trying to show up on John's show too, or have you grown tired of that Dabbleverse stuff?
No, I will help John out. I'm trying to resolve all their issues. Now everyone's suing everyone for defamation and for all other things. I just think they need to start getting back to trying to be funny again. And that's, an outlet that people have. I call it a hobby that I have. And it's,
But
again,
what do you get out of it? You're not getting paid to show up or anything, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not a financially lucrative hobby at all.
Yeah,
So,
in
yeah,
fact, you're
no.
giving him money, aren't you?
Yeah, for the most part, more than that. My life might. Yeah, I know. Well,
your
I
life,
enjoy it.
your personal info, don't you feel embarrassed by the kind of things that he asks you about? Or is that part of the shtick, is that he likes to ask embarrassing questions too, just to see how people respond?
Yeah, that's what he'll say. His 5th grade teacher said about him in his annual report, to maybe it was even in his report card, that John likes to ask probing questions. He still likes to bring that up to people. Yeah. So again, this is all a different world. I know most people are not interested in this. This is a Howard Stern fan world, but there's still a lot of people out there, Miss Judy, that listen to Howard Stern, and we have a void now because he's not really mainstream anymore.
Mm-hmm. Are you still on good terms with Howard Stern?
With the show, yeah. I mean, I never had an issue with them. I don't necessarily like. And there's
He's
some
not
people
your
I'd like.
buddy.
No. It was never like, never with Howard like that. But with other people on the show that I would submit my stuff to, and vice versa. So yeah, I have no issue. But I don't even listen to that show at all. I have no time for it.
Which one?
Howard Stern.
Oh.
He's still on.
He's still
on
has
Sirius
a show?
Radio. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he totally retired. See, I don't keep up with this
I
stuff.
think he's still on. I mean, he's getting paid a significant amount of money, like $500,000 every 5 years. It's so significant. But now the market's completely flooded. Like I said, any dope attorney with a microphone has a show.
Get a microphone, use your computer, and just get a little bit of lighting, and then there you go, and see where it takes off.
I mean,
then.
but literally, when John Edward Melendez was doing this, when he was speaking on the radio, 19 million people were listening, and there was no way anyone could do anything unless you were in that studio. So there was no internet, there was no platform to do it. So it was a very critical time. No matter what, he went through that, and it was big, and it is big.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was pretty bowled over when you said people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars per year just making fun of John and reacting to him and rebroadcasting his stuff. And I was like, this is so weird because I never even knew who this person is. I guess I have been hiding under a rock for all these years. But
Yeah.
Patty never heard of him either. So.
But our last guest, was it Bruce?
Yeah,
Who's
Bruce. Yeah, Bruce
I
knew
love
all
Bruce.
that.
Bruce was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bruce knew everyone. I didn't
Yeah.
want to I know he was going down that path. I know most people don't care about this stuff, so trying to steer him the other way. But I love Bruce too.
Yeah.
All right, so
yeah.
this is it.
Okay.
See you next Tuesday.
Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have a good time. Oh, do you like peanuts? That's like totally off the wall, but
It depends on how they're prepared. Why?
oh, because I have to send you a Christmas gift. So so I'm thinking like what North Carolina, South Carolina delicacies would you like that I can actually send?
Yeah.
Like those spicy nuts or what else is Southern? Like different jellies or popcorn.
What kind of nuts do you like?
Rinds. Oh, there's there are actually a couple of brands that I like. They're from North Carolina. One is pickle flavored. And the
Are
company
those big or small?
they're medium, but it's called D's Nuts. So, yeah, but if you want to try them, I'll send you D's Nuts. And
they taste good?
Tacklehecky. Yeah, they're great. They're like the best kind. So I don't think you can get that in New York City. So
We actually have a place on the corner, but can you get the nut in your mouth completely?
of course, they're like the best nuts ever with just the right amount of seasoning. So,
But are they
yeah.
hard when you touch them?
Yeah, they're hard and crunchy. So, you'll love them in your mouth. You'll be salivating. Yeah. Okay, well,
right,
have
Miss
a great
Judy.
Thanksgiving, guys.
Thank you. I will
Thanks
see you
for
next
listening.
Tuesday.
See you next
yeah, we'll be on next
Tuesday.
Tuesday. See you
Yeah.
next Tuesday, Miss Judy.
Okay, sounds good. Take care. Thank you. Bye, everybody.